Air Force One has touched down. President Trump returning from his overseas trip there to Asia. I just want to put this up here live now from Fox. And as we await him coming down the staircase, potentially going to be speaking with reporters there. Plenty that came out of this trip to Malaysia, South Korea, Japan, as President Trump on Thursday also said he will cut tariffs on Chinese imports after a highly anticipated meeting with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping in South Korea, citing new understandings on fentanyl enforcements, farm trade, and a pause on rare earth export limits. The meeting there marked the final stop of President Trump's Asia trip, which also included stops in Malaysia and Japan, focusing on cooling the economic standoff between Washington and Beijing. Since returning to the White House in January, President Trump has levied major tariffs on Chinese imports, a move that prompted Beijing to tighten its controls over exports on rare earth elements. Both leaders signaled interest in reducing tensions to avoid further shocks to the ongoing global economy. We also heard comments from President Trump on Air Force One and some media gaggles there as he talked and suggested that the U.S. will resume testing for nuclear weapons for the first time in 3 decades. You can see President Trump there getting off of Air Force One. Let's just listen briefly to this moment. All right, you can just hear kind of the ambient noise of the tarmac. Hopefully he comes over the reporters. We do have a pair of shots right now, so he's walking down, and you can imagine plenty of questions about that meeting with Xi Jinping, the brief handshake that took place, what came of it, and also the new developments as they suggesting the U.S. will resume testing on nuclear weapons. This is Min.
Are you going to negotiate with Democrats to end the shutdown, sir?
All right, the only real audible question there shouted from reporters in the press pool was about the ongoing government shutdown, day number 30 of that. We heard from different lawmakers, including Majority Leader Republican John Thune, saying that he spoke with President Trump on his trip overseas to Asia, indicating that President Trump would be open to speaking with Democratic leaders, but only really if the government was reopened. And at this moment, it is far from that. A stalemate continue in place. You can see the beast there moving on right now. So we're following this closely on Live Now from Fox around those new developments with tariffs with China. Obviously a lowering of the temperature, which is a good sign for the market as it continues to climb. Looking at it right now at some 60 or so points. This comes a day after the second such rate cut of this year. And although Jerome Powell did not indicate, saying they will still continue to weigh the options for another one, potentially we could see that happening here. As you can see, President Trump returning to Washington, D.C. aboard Air Force One.